Hello, welcome to the Opinionistics. I'm your host, John Malone, and may potentially have co-host joining us, but if not, go with the flow, yo. Introducing from Canada, Randi-Lee.
Hello.
Hello. So, tell me what you do.
Everything? No. So I'm an author. I have my own YouTube show and podcast. I do book reviews. A little bit of everything, really. A speaker, mental health advocate, mom, all that good stuff.
Oh, nice. And what big plans do you have going for this week?
Um, this week, hopefully, I'll finish formatting my new book. And more importantly, my baby turned 16 this week.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yes, it means that he can get his driver's license. So I'm scared.
Well, we all have to move on at some point.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, what made you get into hosting a channel on YouTube?
Well, when I was little, I was going to be a famous actor. That didn't work because I went and had a baby. But um obviously I love all things acting and drama, but that's not what the show is about. It's more like more just like interview style, and it's all about mental health, and I interview other authors to share their mental health journey and in hopes of helping other people.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's mental health is really important to me, and I figured, well, if I'm an author, so that would be cool to talk to other authors about it, and it just kind of all went together.
Hmm, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what encouraged you to become an author?
Um, well, it was always something I said I was gonna do. I was always gonna publish a book. I'm now over 10, but way back in the day when I was little, I used to write plays and make my cousins act them out with me. I'd also write like a little newspaper for what was going on in the house, and make my mom read it. I'm sure she was super interested. Um, so I've always loved writing. I used to write stories all the time. Um, and as a teenager, it was my main coping strategy when I was depressed, as I was writing a lot of poetry. So, in 2017, I found all the poems that I'd written as a teenager, and I didn't really want to throw them out. But I also didn't want them sitting in my basement collecting dust. So I decided I was going to put them together and publish them. And that became my first book, and then I went, "Huh, I really like this author thing, and I'm gonna keep doing it."
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there any other books that you plan on publishing at some point?
Oh, oodles and oodles, I have a list. The one that I'm working on right now is excuse me. It's another nonfiction book. It's about my brother who died by drug overdose last year now. Um, It's almost gonna be 2 years. So I'm that book is in the final stages. I'm formatting it right now. It's gonna be released May 20th of next year, because that will be his 2-year anniversary of his death. So, I thought that was a nice way to kinda honor him. And the book is really focusing on how family members deal with having somebody that they really care about in their family, who has an addiction, but you have to set yourself some boundaries, and that can be very difficult. And trying to shed a light on people with addiction, because a lot of people, you hear them go, "Oh, that's an addict or that's a junkie." No, that's a person who has a mental health issue and needs help and has family that love him, or her. And so that's what the book is all about, and I share my coping strategies, and I take them through when I got the phone call, from when I found out he was dead, because I was actually family to know, and I had to break the news to my mom. and planning the funeral and going through all of that. So that's all in the book to kind of shed some light in a different way about addiction.
Okay, that's very nice.
Thanks.
You're welcome. What age do you wish you could permanently be at?
Huh. I guess. I don't know. 35, I guess. I'm 35 right now and it's a pretty darn good year. So um well, maybe not because my body's kind of deciding that it doesn't want to do things. So maybe like 33 because then I'm still an adult and can do whatever I want, like eat ice cream for dinner. But my body's not falling apart yet. But I don't know. Aging is part of life, and it's kind of fun to age and learn things and try different things, and nothing wrong with that.
You're right. There's nothing wrong with that. Just go with the flow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yo.
Yo. What habit do you find yourself doing without even thinking about it?
I wiggle my toes like all the time. I'm doing it right now. And I never realized that it wasn't just something that everybody does. Some people do, but not everybody. My husband, one day earlier this year, he looked at me and goes, "Can you ever just stop wiggling, specifically your feet?" Because I was using him as like a footrest. I was like, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "Stop moving." I can't. I just can't. I just keep going.
Yeah, I can certainly see that. Which pizza topping do you most relate to?
Oh, do I relate to? Well, the first one that popped into my head was pineapple. First off, I have to say I don't like pineapple, but I'm going to say relate to it because people either love it or hate it. And you're either going to love me or hate me.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How did you spend your last birthday?
Um, so we actually did a couple things. So I just had my birthday earlier this month, and my husband and I, we always give each other presents in really fun ways. And he's better at it than I am. He makes like a whole adventure. So I came home. We had went to see the musical Chicago, my mom, kid, and an aunt. And then when I got home, my husband had set up this adventure. So I had to open up the first thing that told me that I had to go downstairs and play this matching game. And I only had 30 seconds for each match, or else then I had to take a 10-minute break. My husband thought that I was going to, I guess, take a long time to match. I crushed it. So after I matched all the letters, there was or all the matches, there was letters on the cards, and I had to make the letters make sense to find out what the present was. And then there was a pinata I had to jump on. The whole thing was Mario themed, so I had to jump on the present because Mario jumps on the bad guys, and it was a Bowser pinata to get a hint. So it was a whole big thing. And then we ended up going to, it's called Park Omega, which is just outside of Gatineau in Quebec. Um, and it's like this drive through forest park where you can feed the deer out of your car, and they have bears and everything. So it was super cool. And we just did that on Friday night. We went there and stayed overnight on Saturday, and amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Fabulous. What would be the first thing you do if you won the lottery?
Um, the first thing I do would probably like scream in rejoicement. But if you mean what would I do with the money first thing, I'd probably pay off my debt, which sounds really sad and boring. But if I had won the lottery, then at least that would be paid off, and then probably go on vacation.
Hmm, very nice. If you were chosen to be a colonist for a new habitable planet, would you take the opportunity?
Huh. Well, colonists don't have a really good track record of being nice people, so that might not be a great way for me to spend my time. I think I'd let somebody else do it, and then maybe I'll go visit after they do the hard lifting.
Hmm, okay, that's a fair point. What is something always makes you laugh?
My husband. I just have to look at him. He's just funny looking. No. But yeah, he always has jokes. So yeah.
Cool. Fabulous. Do you ever travel often?
Pardon?
Do you ever travel often?
Yes. At least as much as we can. COVID kind of put a damper on that for a while, but yeah, we love going places. Like I said, we were just in Quebec. I live in Ontario, so for people who don't know Canada, Quebec and Ontario are side by side, but it was still like 6 hours away from where I am. So yeah, we do that. We've gone to Cuba and Mexico. We really like Caribbean islands. They're the best. My husband and he lets me go swimming in the ocean where he doesn't like to be so much.
All right then. Sound good. What was the last funny video you've watched?
Last funny video, like a TikTok video or like a movie video?
Any video will do.
Anime video? Well, my TikTok is full of animal videos, so that would just like basically any of them. But I'm gonna say the last one that I watched, this is gonna sound full of myself, was one of mine. Specifically my dog. So my animals have their very own TikTok channel. And my kid always likes to go back on it and watch it. And then my puppy, he also chose one on the same day that my kid turned 16. And so he just learned about shadows. And every night he barks at his shadow on the wall. So,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. That's interesting to know. What is the best pair of shoes you have ever owned?
Hoka. I love them. They're the most comfortable things ever. I have the sandal and I have the running shoe, and they're amazing. And I love them.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah. It's the
Yeah,
podiatrist told me about them. They're just, oh, they're so good.
Oh, yes, absolutely. What is something that you disagree with most frequently?
Oh, huh. I'm sure there's lots of things, but trying to think of something specific. I don't know off the top of my head. Lots of things, though, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Socialism.
Oh, okay.
Yes, let's go with that.
Fair enough, fair enough. At least you said something, I respect that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Ooh, that's a good question. See, I like Canada. However, I really hate our healthcare system. So it would have to be somewhere that had a better system. Um, Maybe I heard that, what's that place called? The name is escaping me now of the country. But somebody I know lived there and he was telling me about it, and it's nice and warm. It's warm all the time, has oceans, but they have a pretty good healthcare system. The name is escaping me right now,
Okay.
but warm is important.
Okay. Fair enough. But really? You don't like Canada's healthcare system?
Oh, it's absolutely horrible. It's free, but it doesn't mean that it's good. When you have chronic
There's
health
always a catch.
issues, yes, when you have chronic health issues, it's really hard to get doctor's appointments and specialist appointments and testing that you need. When I had cancer, it was a great system. I didn't have to pay nothing, and they took it all out, so that was great. But now that I'm trying to get answers for a chronic health issue, it's a very tediously long journey, and it's more about, hey, I'll manage your pain instead of finding the answer so we can fix it. So it's very frustrating.
Ah, yes. Now I can see the whole picture.
Yes, good. It's great for emergencies if you're dying, but if you're
Yes.
not dying, it really sucks.
Yes, it really does. If you had to get rid of a holiday, which one would you get rid of?
Family Day. So, um,
Wow.
in Ontario, and there's a few other provinces, they have what's called Family Day. It's this completely arbitrary day in February. It stands for nothing, um, but it's a statutory holiday, so you get it off work. But it's in February, and nothing's open. And unless
Oh,
you like snow, you're just stuck at home with your family. Nobody wants that.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see how that could be a massive inconvenience.
Yeah, I don't do snow and cold, so it doesn't help me to be like, "Hey, we could go skiing or skating." I'm like, "No, that's cold. I don't do that."
Yeah, of course. If someone wrote a book about you, what do you think its title would be?
I'm laughing because since I'm a nonfiction author, I've written books about me, so I've already named them. But if somebody else was to write it, they might call it something like Life Circus or something like that. I called it Embracing Me and Thoughts of a Wanderer and a Mother's Truth. Um, but I think somebody else would probably put some kind of circus quirky spin on it.
Okay, that's a good concept. If you have to choose between skydiving, bungee jumping, or scuba diving, which one would you choose?
Scuba diving. I actually, over the summer, I got certified as a scuba diver, so I love it. It's so much fun. If anybody has the opportunity to go scuba diving, it is so worth it. So much fun.
Fabulous. Have you had any role models growing up?
I'm sure I probably did. Nobody's actually asked me that question to make me think about it before. Well, when I was little, like a little kid, I looked up to my mom and my aunts, but I don't know off the top of my head. I've never given it much thought.
All right then. Have you come up with something, or is it like mind blank?
My mind is totally blank.
Yep, I've certainly been there.
Yeah,
Happens to me all the time.
yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of which, if your mind was an island, what would it look like?
Oh, if my mind was an island.
Mhm.
Phew. Um, I think there'd be some jungles, really thick, hard to get through jungles, with a lot of wildlife. Some really nice beaches though, and also like a deserty area where there's just absolutely and you and it's just like right in the middle of the forest, so you're like walking along trying to get through all the tangles and then you just end up with nothing. You're like, "Wait, how'd I end up here?"
Oh, okay. Cool, cool. Do you like spicy food?
No.
Oh,
Not
okay.
even a little bit. When there's even a little bit of spice, I almost feel like I'm gonna vomit, so I don't do well with spices.
Oh, fair enough, fair enough. It happens.
Yeah.
What was the longest you have gone without doing anything?
Can I go with never?
Whatever
My hus
works. It's
my
whatever
husband
works.
told me once on vacation, um, "You're on vacation, you can just relax and do nothing." And I said, "I don't understand."
Oh, yeah. When was the last time you've worked incredibly hard for something?
I'm trying to think of something other than, like, actual work, because obviously writing and editing is incredibly difficult at times. Actually, we raised money for my son's service dog, and it took about 2 years to raise all of the money. We had different fundraisers. It took incredibly hard to it was $16,000 that we had to get for him, so, yeah.
Oh, fabulous. Cool, cool. Would you choose to teleport yourself 500 years into the future or 500 years into the past?
So I've had somebody ask me this on a different podcast, and my answer and I think it's pretty solid, even thinking about it, I don't wanna change it, so I do not wanna go 500 years in the past, because back then, opinionated females probably would've gotten killed. I probably would have been called a witch and burned at the stake. So I don't think that would have went well for me, even though it'd be interesting to see the past. Probably wouldn't go well for me. So I definitely would have to go into the future.
Yes, absolutely. I fully agree with that. What are your thoughts on sending mail to Bigfoot?
Sending mail to Bigfoot?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Well, I mean, if he exists, it'd probably be nice for him to get some mail as long as you're not sending him a bill.
I suppose so. I mean, he lives in the U.S., so he has to pay his bills or taxation or whatever.
Exactly. So, I mean, if you're gonna send him like a happy mail, like a nice birthday card or something, then I think he would enjoy it.
Yeah, I think so too. Hmm. I remember this one lad named Klaus Reinsteiger. Yeah, have you ever heard of him?
No.
Nah, neither did I. I just made him up.
Oh, nice, nice.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. What's your favorite drink?
I was gonna say water, but that's really boring. Um, Cream soda is delicious.
Ah, okay. Cool, cool. What hobby would you get into if time and money was not the issue?
Ooh, hmm. Probably everything. I want to try it all. I'd probably like I tried pole dancing a couple times. That's a lot of fun, a lot of hard work. So I'd probably do that more. If my body decided to do what I wanted it to do, I'd probably get back into kickboxing. Um, Hiking, that was a fun one. Crafts. If I had all the time in the world and all of my crafts, yeah, I just everything. I'd try everything.
Okay, sounds good. You have 5 minutes. What would be your best hand-drawn or digital art?
In 5 minutes? Oh, I
Hmm.
could draw a really good stick person.
Ah,
Really
yes,
good.
the classic. Good
Yeah.
old stick person, my favorite.
Yep. I got them down pat. When I
Nice.
was in elementary school, actually, me and my friend, we made a comic series. It was called The People, and it was stick people, but they were all differently dressed and unique. Like some had a little dress on, or some had like little shorts or a different hat and stuff. But they were all stick people. Like it was great.
Yeah, absolutely. What's the most useless talent that you have?
Um, hmm, I don't know. I think I use all of my talents, even if they're useless. So then they become not useless. I was gonna say making things up, but I'm an author and I have to make things up all the time for stories, so that doesn't count. That's quite useful. um, huh. That's a great question that I have no idea. I'm just so talented and awesome that I don't have one.
Oh, that's a good excuse. I respect it.
Yep, that's what I'm going with.
Yep, fair enough. What is your favorite quote?
Um, Trying to remember how it goes. I can't remember exactly how it goes, but it's something along the lines of I can accept failure, but I can't accept not trying. And I cannot remember who said it.
Okay, I can see that.
Oh,
And that's all we have for this episode. It's great having you here, Randi-Lee, talking about your works as an author, YouTube host, and a lot of many other things. It's been amazing.
thank you for having me.
Anytime. And until next time, stay opinionated.